The Intuitive Wellness Cafe podcast is hosted by me, intuitive eating wellness coach Deanna Kozarov. My mission is to show women that health and wellness can be achieved without the pursuit of weight loss, counting calories, and spending hours in the gym punishing yourself. I am taking back health and wellness from diet culture and showing women that they don't have to succumb to diet culture standards to feel good in their body and find joy in life. I'll be coming on the podcast to talk about a variety of topics that will help you on your journey to food freedom, movement, and how to care for your body and life. It is my hope that by having this podcast, you will have the mental and emotional space freed up to enjoy life instead of constantly worrying and stressing over food and exercise, and live the life that you deserve. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Intuitive Wellness Cafe. I hope you are well and good. I am going to talk today about how being part of the quote-unquote 5 a.m. club is okay, and not being part of the 5 a.m. club is okay too. And before I start, I just want to remind you about my free starter guide, Making Peace with Your Plate, that will be available at the link in the show notes. It will give quick tips that you can start today when it comes to having a much calmer, stress-free relationship with food and your body. So be sure to grab that. Like I said, I will put the link in the show notes. It's free, and you can get started as soon as you get access to it. Now, I am going to try really hard not to talk so much about weather on this podcast. I am from Chicago, which is technically still in the Midwest. And we do talk about the weather here a lot because it is always changing. Like literally it could change from one day to another, even the same day. Right now, it is actually snowing in Chicago. Yes, it's snowing. This is not an April Fool's joke. That was April 1st, so we're past that. It is actually snowing today. I woke up this morning and my city was like a snow globe. It was so... I don't even know what to say. We had like unusually warm weather in February. Like in February, it was like in the 60s. We even had hit 70s at one point, and we enjoyed it, but we knew that this was a false spring is what we call it here. And second winter is coming, and it looks like it came today. Yeah, it is snowing. So yeah, that's what's happening today weather-wise here in Chicago. It's in the 30s. It's snowing. I think it's going to die down soon here, though. I mean, it's not sticking, at least, thankfully. And I know, like, especially in the winter, it can be hard to wake up early with winter. Well, even now with winter-like conditions like this. But for some, that is what they desire to do because they got other things going on, which is what I'm going to discuss here today. I was watching an Instagram reel when I came across one of those fitness gurus that says something along the line that you don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. to work out or go to the gym, and you're not any better if you do. Now, I think the poster of that reel was trying to come across as someone who, gives permission for people not having to resort to toxic ways to get their fitness in, which I get that. You don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. if you don't have to. But in reality, the poster was also coming across as someone with privilege in their fitness morning routine. And I've seen this tip time and time again, mocking the very people who do wake up at 5 a.m. And I am here to remind you that, yes, you don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. if you want to move your body, get in a morning routine, etc. But if you want to and need to, then you have the permission to wake up at 5 a.m. to get in your fitness needs or whatever, needs that you need met. And I think that's like the majority of people because a lot of us work. A lot of us start early at work, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the morning. And that's the only chance that, that they can get a workout in. And yes, you can do it after work, but you know how it is after work. I mean, you have to get dinner ready. You have to commute. A lot of us are commuting. A lot of us went back to the office. It's just for a lot of us, it's not realistic. So 5 a.m. is the only maybe sometimes option. And many of us have so many other things going on, right? Like besides focusing on our health and wellness, like we work, we are taking care of families and so on. So maybe 5 a.m. is the only time you really have to get a workout in before the world wakes up. So next time you hear someone say you don't need to wake up at 5 a.m. to get some body movement in, remember that yes, you don't have to, but it is actually what is working for you and your situation. Like with me, for the longest time, I was waking up at 5 in the morning because that was the only chance I was able to get in some of my routines in. I know they have that Morning Miracle book that's been out for a while now that says you need to wake up super early to get all your morning routine in. And I believe you could do your morning routine intuitively without super restricted rules. I do have a podcast episode about that in season 1. If you want to go back, you'll see it. Like how to create a morning routine intuitively is like what the title is. If you want to go back to season 1 and read that one, or listen to it rather. But for me, yes, for the longest time, I did have to wake up at 5 a.m. because of my other responsibilities before 8 a.m. I had to get my daughter on the bus. I had to get her to school, get her ready for school, get breakfast ready. So there was just so much that had to happen in the morning. So if I wanted to get any workout in or any other types of morning routines, I had to, in that season of time, had to wake up at 5 in the morning, which is what I wanted to do. It was, there's also that too. You have to also actually want to do that. If you don't want to do that, that's a different story. So yes, you don't have to wake up 5 a.m. to do a routine, to do a workout routine, to do a morning routine, to do journaling and all of that, but that may be the only time you may be able to. So don't feel bad or guilty that you are doing that, or you're seeing a reel or an Instagram post saying like don't wake up at 5 a.m. You don't have to. Well, for some people, they don't have to, but they want to, or that's what's fitting in their lifestyle. And of course, on the other coin of it is, if you do have the opportunity to be able to do some of your workouts or some of your routines, after 5 in the morning or in mid-morning, then go for it. Of course, you don't then have to resort to feeling like you have to wake up at 5 a.m. in order to be like successful or to have this like overall rather healthy lifestyle. Everyone's different. We all have different schedules. We have different lifestyles. Some of us have kids. Some of us don't. Some of us have, people that we have to take care of too, our pets. The list goes on. We have different kinds of jobs. Some work remote where, maybe 5 a.m. Could work for them, and later in the day could work for them. Some own their own businesses. We just have to work with what we have to just do with what's best for us. It all comes down to what do we want to do? What do we desire? What we want to do? Do not look at the outside and do what they're doing. Maybe that's what's working for them. And don't believe these people online that are, especially some of these fitness pages that are like, don't need to be, up and at them at 5 a.m. You don't need to. Yes, you don't need to, but there's just so much nuance to that. It all depends. I can imagine, like, say, for instance, a mom with a newborn, like, you know how that is. Like they wake up at all odds hours of the day, and you may have to wake up just a little bit early if you want some me time, or bring the baby with, and if you're going to be already up in the morning. So there's just so many different circumstances that there's just really not one answer. There's only one answer for you and what fits in your schedule, like I said. So, well, that is it from me. When you want to work on things like what we talked about today, as well as other aspects of our health that does not require dieting or obsessive workouts, I am ready when you are. I do have a one-to-one private coaching program. I will add the link in my show notes to the details of my one-to-one private coaching program, which will also have a link there to apply. So go ahead and apply, and I will then respond back to you, and we can go from there. And as always, please leave a review, share this episode and podcast with others that you feel would benefit. This would help get the word out more about this podcast and the messages that I talk about here. Thank you for listening, and I will chat with you on the next episode.